They make millions of dollars, but they don't want you to know that. These are the absolute filthiest, richest country stars out there. It's not easy to make it in country music.
I'm as good once as I ever was.
For every artist that strikes gold, there's thousands more that play for pennies on the street, trying to keep that dream alive while they also try to not get accosted by the local drunk. And then, probably eventually giving it all up and going into something like insurance sales. And hey, if that hit too close to home for you, well, I'm sorry. But the ones who make it big can make it really, really big. And once you learn how filthy rich these guys are, you'll never look at them the same. And some, you might not believe what they're doing with their money. So, who's been called the cowboy capitalist? Who lives in a super villain style mansion? Seriously. From buskers to business moguls, the top 1% of country music has some secrets. So we're gonna uncover them, shall we? Before we begin, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up icon. It really helps our channel a ton make more country videos for you to enjoy. Also, if you're not subscribed, that's a great way to make sure you don't miss a beat. It won't make you a millionaire, but it'll get you some more videos, which I think is even better, don't you? Now buckle up and get ready to count some money, because there's a whole lot of it. So come on and let's go find out.
What happened?
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Okay, I know. Is it cheating to count this power couple together? Maybe, maybe not. But it's hard not to count this famous pair as a single unit, because right after their marriage, they embarked upon one of the biggest tours of all time, and I think they've only gotten tighter over the years. You know, think about when they branch out into acting. They always play husband and wife. It's kinda cute. In the most recent case, it was the Yellowstone spinoff 1883, which, quick side note, are people still watching those shows? I mean, I really liked Yellowstone, but I just couldn't continue on the many, many spin-offs. Let me know in the comments, because I will watch the Sam Elliott one if you say it's good. Because Sam Elliott is a national treasure, and we must protect him.
Riding on a horse. You can whip your Porsche off.
But anyway, back to what we came here for. The moolah. There is one thing that sets these guys apart from the rest. While some country musicians like to downplay their wealth, keep it a secret. I don't know, maybe they're scared it'll make them seem out of touch, too far away from that pickup truck and the rundown shack. Well, Tim and Faith are very, very open about their sizable nest egg. Just look at their video tours of their custom-built private island home in the Bahamas.
Know your saxophone, girl, her name, because...
Yeah, that wasn't found on Zillow. I mean, they're not waiting for the interest rate to drop 0.25%. Tim and Faith have some serious cash. It's the kind of place that seems more suited to a supervillain than a country singer. So, just how much cash does it take to get a crib like that? I'm asking for a friend because I still have roommates. Well, their combined net worth has been estimated around $200 million bucks. Good golly geez, you don't make that much busking on the street with a 6-string, that's for sure. I guess when it comes to the big bucks, you just gotta have faith. Get it? But even that much money looks like chump change compared to some of the other names on this list. Straight to the bank. When George Strait kinda took over the world with songs like All My Exes Live in Texas,
Sweet Eileen's Abilene, she forgot
it soon became clear that he was an anomaly, you know, when talking about chart toppers at least. While it seemed like everybody around him was chasing pop stardom, he stuck to his roots, bringing back a particular flavor of rootsy, traditional country.
Every minute that I have to be gone, I'll have everything.
And the gamble paid off. He became one of the richest singers in the world. But just how rich? Well, very. Because he's not just releasing hit songs, he knows how to make $1 or $2 or $1 million on the side. When the governor of Texas won re-election, they paid George Strait $1.7 million to perform. And besides his profits from record deals, George has landed endorsements from regular Joe brands like Wrangler and Tractor Supply Company. He knows his market very well, and he hits it again and again. Just imagine how well he'd do if he had a deal with Victoria's Secret. Anyway, while you try and get that gross image out of your head, how much has George made altogether? Well, we're looking at $300 million bucks. Forget Amarillo by morning, you could also find George in London or Paris, heck, wherever he damn well pleases. Toby Keith. On February 5th, 2024, the world lost Toby Keith, a brilliant, sensitive songwriter and performer.
I fill you up, let's have a party.
But Toby wasn't just a musician. He was one of the most legendary businessmen in the industry too. So what made Toby Keith such a special mogul? Let's find out. So I'm sure Toby spent hours practicing guitar to build his legendary stage act, but he was just as good at knowing where to be at the right time. After college, Toby got into the oil business just as the industry was bubbling and about to pop. Later, he started making $35 a night playing covers at local bars. Once the band started to get attention, he made sure to pay the players a salary rather than a cut of the profits. So, when they absolutely blew up, which he knew they would, the moolah went straight to his pocket without any detours. Then he would cut up the money and pay the players. Toby was the man. After his first record deal, Toby's business instincts did not take the back seat. They even got sharper. He invested in just about everywhere, putting cash into a horse farm, an apartment complex, and a Starbucks. But most importantly, he got into the music business himself. He put money into a few small record labels who signed a few promising artists. Which artists? Surely you haven't heard of them. We're talking the Rascal Flatts, Tim McGraw, and yep, Taylor Swift. So whenever Taylor got paid, and we know she did, so did Toby. Toby Keith's shrewd business skills earned him the nickname of the Cowboy Capitalist. So, just how much did these smart decisions make him? Well, we're talking in the neighborhood of $370 million. That's a lot of dough for the guy who brought you Red Solo Cup. Shania Twain. Shania Twain is such a big part of American culture that it's easy to forget she is Canadian. But forget where she's from, let's get right to it. How rich is Shania Twain? Well, she's been at it for a long time. She began singing at the local bars when she was only 8 years old. She did it to help her family pay bills, and it turned out she was very good.
Pardon me if I don't say hello.
Both at singing and bringing home the bacon. The next time your kid asks for a new PlayStation, tell them to learn the guitar and hit the bars, earn the money themselves. Because by the time she was 13 years old, Shania Twain was singing on TV. Her first album actually kinda bombed, but it didn't take long for her to climb her way to the top. Some people say she only got so famous by crossing over to pop music, and sure, there is a point to be made. I know she'll be crying all the way to the bank, so how much does she have in that bank? We're talking around $410 million. That's it, I'm going to buy my kid a guitar and we're hitting the bars. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks' biggest hit is probably Friends in Low Places, a song that's famously about how the other half lives. It's a great song, I love it, but if that's not his best song, what is? Anywho, Garth's life has changed a lot lately, and he seems to have a lot more friends in very high places. So how much does Garth really have, and how has the money changed him? Country music is really big right now, but its stars sometimes don't get as much media attention as your Ariana Grandes of the world. It's sometimes easy to forget just how big some of the biggest country stars actually are. Sorry Ariana, but you're in Garth Brooks' shadow. because he is a great example of this. Sure, everybody knows he is a big deal. They all know the name Garth Brooks. But did you know he is the second best-selling music artist in the history of the United States? Yeah, I mean the list goes the Beatles and then Garth. He's even bigger than Elvis, Prince, and, well, everybody else. Mr. Brooks has sold 148 million records. But let's cut the crap. How much dough do all those plaques add up to? Well, quite the chunk of change, actually. Garth has pulled in $430 million over the years. And I'm not sure he'll be done raking it in anytime soon. Dolly Parton. So no, maybe it's not a surprise Dolly Parton is at the top of this list. But I still think it's very surprising to hear exactly how much money she has, and how she intends on keeping it. When musicians talk about growing up broke, sometimes they mean they grew up with 3 vacation homes, not 4. But that's not Dolly Parton. She was raised in a 1-room cabin alongside 11 siblings. They all slept in the same bed. Their sleeping arrangement looked more like the Willy Wonka scene with all the grandparents sleeping together. You know, before Grandpa Joe jumps up and reveals he's been fine all along and let's go get some candy. So, if your kid complains about having to share a room with his brother or something, tell him it could be a whole lot worse. Now, I don't need to tell you about the millions of records that Dolly has sold, but Dolly's cash isn't just from selling CDs. She too is a famously sharp businesswoman. Elvis wanted to sing the song I Will Always Love You, but his team famously forced everybody whose song Elvis sang to give him the songwriting credit. So Dolly Parton said no to the king. A lot of her money comes from, well, just about everything besides music. There's her pretty long acting career at this point, with films like 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias.
I just keep thinking about what an ale says. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Then there's her famous Dollywood theme park, which brings in a whopping $1.8 billion in tourism bucks to the state every single year. And that's just one of her many Tennessee income sources. It's basically medieval times with an ostrich. Then you have all of her side hustles, like Doggy Parton, the line of dog clothes she made. The woman has it all, even 10 Guinness World Record titles. The Smoky Mountain songbird keeps so busy you might even forget she's a singer. Well, how much? Well, we're talking in the $630 million range. Yeah, that's a lot of dough, but she is one of the most impactful country musicians of all time. Honorable mention, Taylor Swift. Yeah, I can already picture the comment section. Taylor Swift's not country, blah blah blah. And yeah, maybe you're right, but Taylor made her career selling albums that were definitely in the neighborhood of country. More importantly, she's made more money than just about everybody else combined. In fact, the most recent estimation of Taylor's net worth puts her at $1.1 billion. And that's kind of on the low end. It's no secret how Taylor made her millions. People are paying thousands of dollars to go see her recent tour.
We're about to go on a little adventure together, and that adventure is gonna span 17 years of music.
But you might be shocked to hear how she first started rolling in it. Back when Taylor was only 17 years old, she had a huge opportunity. She was supposed to open for Kenny Chesney on his tour, which ended up being the second highest grossing concert series of that year. But there was a big wrench in that plan. The tour was sponsored by a beer company, which disqualified her due to her age. Kenny felt very bad for the burgeoning star, and found a way to make it up to her. When Taylor turned 18, she opened a birthday card from Kenny with a check inside. He wrote, quote, "I'm sorry that you couldn't come on the tour, so I wanted to make it up to you." Taylor never did say just how much the check was for, but she did say that it was more money than she'd ever seen in her life. Now, of course, Taylor is way richer than Kenny, who only has a puny $180 million in the bank. So yeah, let's hope she repays him with a couple bucks in her Christmas cards. Alright, that's our list. Who is your favorite? Who do you not care for? Who do you think will hold on to their money? And is there a country star that you were surprised is not on this list? Maybe Keith Urban? Well, get down below and tell us who you thought would be on this list. Finally, is Taylor Swift a country musician, or am I just daft? If you enjoyed our video, which we sure hope you did, please click that thumbs up icon. It really helps our channel more than you might know. It takes a lot of time to make these videos, writing, researching, and voicing, and then editing. So let us know, are you enjoying them? What country star should we cover next? Subscribe to the channel, and come back often, so we can keep telling you
What happened?